If there is one universal truth in life, it's that giant mechs punching each other in the face is cool as heck.
Yo, let's punch him right in the face, shall we? I love this. Look at that big laser. Oh, yeah. Oh, this one looks sick. Oh, I want one like that. Ooh, that's bad for me.
And if there is a second universal truth in life, it's that strategy games are the best game genre ever. Well, what if I told you the brand new sci-fi SRPG Mecharashi combined these two things and made it one? And well, it's what I'm telling you right now. They actually did that, and in today's video, we'll be talking all about it. Before we get started, I'd like to thank Mecharashi for allowing me to play this game early and sponsoring this video. The game will fully launch in the first half of 2025, and pre-registration is available as of right now, so click the link in the description below to check out one of the most anticipated tactical games of the year. So before I get to showing you all about the cool features this game has to offer, some of you may wonder what this game exactly is. Well, Mecharashi was previously known under the name 2089 Borderscape and was designed to be a new entry in the famed Front Mission franchise. All that in partnership with Square Enix, but unfortunately that partnership fell through and 2089 Borderscape became Mecharashi, a brand new IP. But the spirit of Front Mission stayed very much alive in this brand new game through the highly customizable mechas, the tactical gameplay, and one of my favorite features, part destruction, which enhances the way you use strategy at the core of your gameplay. In Mecharashi, you command a mercenary group called the GKD Squad, which is thrown in the center of a worldwide conspiracy, which you are tasked with uncovering. And to do so, you'll have to outsmart the enemy commander through superior tactics on the battlefield. You'll also have the chance to bolster your mercenary roster through the game's gacha mechanic and pull systems, where you'll be able to pull brand new mechs and parts to customize your beautiful robot of destruction to your heart's content. Because let me tell you, there is something oddly satisfying about seeing an all-pink mech beat the tar out of another robot.
True next time.
God, wasn't that just beautiful? But I digress, the customization goes further than the aesthetic aspect. Each part of the mech is customizable individually from one another, meaning you can either go for a full kit, which at time will give you bonuses, or you can individually pick each part differently based on which has better stats or simply a better look if you want to go that way to create your own unique looking mechs. On top of that, you can upgrade parts of mechs by combining them if you have too much of one kind to make them even better. And it's not only the mechs that you get to upgrade, as in the base, you can also level up pilots, teach them new skills, which will help them in combat and just upgrade them overall. Well, once you have your mecha all geared up, it's time to take the battlefield where the fun can truly begin. And a big portion of the fun for me is how a big part of the strategy is based around understanding each type of units. There is a total of 6 different classes or professions for each pilot in the game. As you can see on screen right now, each of the profession has a different advantage and range of attack. For example, snipers can attack at very long range, stopping most other classes from being able to counterattack, but once they are at melee range, they have no recourse and would be unable to defend themselves, so positioning with them is going to be key. And same thing for the fighters, who mostly rely on melee combat or short range damage to deal damage. They can often use their mobility to charge into the heart of the battlefield and destroy enemy mechs through things like re-attacks, which is attacking an enemy multiple times in the same turn, and movement-based technique, given that you have the necessary action points to complete such actions, of course. Action points kind of act as mana. If you are out of them, then you can't do anything, but you can recoup them by hitting an enemy or through simply waiting for your next turn, where you'll regain some automatically. But you'll want to consume them strategically to be able to use your skill in the most effective way possible. One of the coolest thing about combat in this game is it has to do with mechs having different HP pool for each different parts of the mech. The body, each arm individually, and the legs. Very much like in the Front Mission games, You can truly feel that the solo front mission is very much alive in Mecharashi. And each of these parts helps with different aspects of combat. The legs of a mech affect its movement. If they are taken out by a wily sniper, you'll be able to move only one tile at a time. So for example, if you see a fighter on the enemy team, you might want to use your sniper to take out the legs. And it also affects dodging. It reduces your dodge rate. So sometimes taking out the legs of a stronger unit to make it a more reliable hit chance can be a pretty good strategy to simplify the battle. Each arm affects your hit rate, but losing an arm can also affect your ability to use certain types of weapons or abilities if they are assigned to the arm in question. For example, tacticians have these huge arm cannons that can do massive AoE damage, but if you manage to take out the arm it's attached to, well, that threat is fully eliminated and can't be used unless the enemy team has a machinist to help them patch them back up. That class is pretty much the healer of the game. They repair mechs, being kind of a mechanic. It's all very intuitive, really. The final part is the body of the mech. That's pretty much your main health pool. If that dies, the mech dies. But it tends to be a little tougher to kill, having more HP or more defense to it. So the limbs tend to be a little bit more fragile. So dumping all your damage in the body might not always be the best strategy, since sometimes incapacitating a threat can help set up for the next turn a lot better, which is something I like about this game. I tend to find myself trying to fit my team composition and use my action points as efficiently as possible every turn, because more often than not, it feels a lot more rewarding to just take out those limbs with a sniper than trying to take out the whole body from the get-go, because one's a little bit weaker and then you can plan around that a little bit better. One of my personal favorite strategies is using a sniper with the skill accurate shot, which is a skill that lets you pick which part of the mech to shoot, and it even tells you how much damage it'll do. That way you can devise your strategy with that knowledge in mind. And I tend to try to find the fighters to take out their legs, or the tactician to take out their AoE damage. That way I get to control the fight a little bit better, because the fighter profession can inflict a lot of damage, and using a sniper that way limits the things they can do, and same thing for the tacticians. So keeping those at a distance the whole time, or pretty much unable to do damage, renders them pretty useless. And the game really encourages you to think about those little things to do to make the maps a little easier. This game really is a tactician's dream, because the game encourages that sort of innovative gameplay that's not just run and gun. But if you want to run and gun too, it also kind of works sometimes. To each their own, I say. And Mecharashi really does allow you to play it the way you really want to. There are also different ways to play the game outside of the main story quest, which I did find really compelling and interesting from the little I've played, and I can't wait to see where the story goes and play a little bit more of this, because there was really a good sense of intrigue of what the hell is going on in this game, and I like when my interest is piqued from the get-go. But I'd have to say that my favorite thing I did was this challenge called a clearance ops. Basically, it was a very challenging hard mode type of map. The basic enemies felt stronger than the campaign ones, but the map had these bosses who did some real damage and had some really large health pool and were really tough to take out. The part I liked the most about it was that it was kind of made into parts. Kind of like a roguelike a little bit. So once you defeat the first boss, you have the choice to go back with your reward, or you can move on to the second boss, which is even harder usually. But the caveat being that you don't get to heal, you don't get to respawn members that may have died, you don't get to have a chance to reset. Nope, the next phase happens right away. So the enemies will just start running at you with your team all half health, some parts broken, absolutely not ready and on lethal damage sometimes. So it really stressed me out, and it felt like a real challenge, and I can't wait to see how far that mode truly goes to test my limit in this game, because that was a lot of fun. I did lose a few troops on my attempt, but I came out on top in the end, which is good. Something I haven't really mentioned yet, but you may have noticed on screen, is how good this game looks. I really haven't touched on the visual aspects because I wanted you guys to drink it in as I was talking to you about the game, but the animations are just really clean. The models all look pretty epic, and the cutscenes just are cinematic as hell. The game has a solid aesthetic feel overall to it, which I'm excited for. The last thing I want to touch on in this video about the game is something I came across while looking online, because if you were unaware, this game has been available in China now for a few months, and they've received a lot of content regarding the game over there, with what seems like a couple of crossover events and a consistent schedule of updates. And while there was a few interesting collabs here and there, the one I think I've seen that has me the most excited is the Neon Genesis Evangelion collaboration. If you like mechs like I do, chances are you've seen this anime and you also like this anime kind of like I do. And seeing this collab with Mecharashi is 100% logical. It makes so much sense. But it's still cool to see, and I'm really excited for it. And I have to say the skill animations for Asuka's mech specifically looks amazing. If you look at it here, there's something truly special about seeing a giant robot do a full-on high jump kick through another robot. Like, no one can tell me that's not epic. And the crossover allows you to play with the three main protagonists, it seems, Asuka, Rei, and Shinji. And there seems to be special mechs associated with them too, and apparently a storyline attached to it all. I wish I could tell you more about it, but unfortunately I don't have much more information than what I can devise with my eyes, since none of what is available is in English yet. Unfortunately, I don't speak language, so I can't tell you what it is all about. But as the game arrives over to the West soon, I'm sure we'll learn more about all this in no time. So I'm very interested in seeing how that all turns out, since the game seems to have a lot going on, and I can't wait to see what it will have more of in the future. All the events and updates are a good sign of a healthy game in my opinion. I'm very hyped to see all the cool crossovers they'll come up with in the future, and if you are too, feel free to check out the game below in the description and pinned comment of this video. Pre-registration opens up today, so sign up quickly. I would like to once again thank Mecharashi for sponsoring today's video. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and tell me what you think below about Mecharashi and if you will be checking it out. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.